Google investigating display issues with its new $800 phone. Internet giant and YouTube owner Google may need to place its latest smartphone in a limited state. Apologies, that's a demonetization joke. Android Central editor Alex Dobie reported how a test Google Pixel 2 XL he was sent suffered from screen burn-in after 7 days of use. This is when graphics burn into the display. It usually happens after several years of use, not 1 week. Others have reported similar issues with the device. Technology giant Google was investigating the problem, but a mobile analyst told Reuters that if the company finds a problem with the device, it may need to halt production. But hey, maybe it's not the phone. Maybe it's the YouTube algorithm gone rogue and instead of demonetizing creators, it's demonetizing Google. One $800 phone at a time. Probably not, but their share price did drop by 1.9% on Monday. By the spectacles of Steve Jobs. Apple investigating swelling iPhone 8 batteries. Nearly half a dozen iPhone 8 Plus owners from around the world have seen their devices cracking and swelling. The swelling in these cases reportedly occurs when the iPhone 8 Plus's lithium-ion battery is charging. Apple says it is investigating the problem and is in possession of one of the damaged phones. 5 iPhone 8 Plus owners in Canada, Greece, Japan, Taiwan, and Hong Kong have reported similar issues. According to Apple news site Mac Rumors, it's common for a small number of devices out of the millions made to have some battery issues. Last year, Samsung was forced to recall hundreds of their Galaxy Note 7 phones after users reported battery problems, some of which caused devices to combust. Your heartbeat may be your new passcode. Always forgetting your passwords? Well, scientists have come up with a great solution for that, using your heart. Say what? Researchers at the University of Buffalo have developed a new biometric tool that scans your heart to unlock your phone or log onto your computer. The system uses a low-level Doppler radar to identify the shape and size of a person's heart. The system needs 8 seconds to record the shape and person's heartbeat. It then continuously monitors the person's presence. The heart scanner continuously monitors individuals up to a distance of 98 feet. Researchers claim the system poses no health risks as the radar system uses very little power. It is a passive non-contact device, so people don't have to spend time authenticating themselves. They just have to give their biometric heart data to the office and their phone companies. Yeah, that'll totally happen. Researchers really knocked it out of the park on this one.
Smartphones, the 21st century drug. Smartphone addiction has escalated to the point that some of us are experiencing nomophobia, the fear of being separated from our phones, even in important settings, such as meetings. Like opioid addiction, this addiction can be explained in terms of neuroscience. When we receive a notification on our phone, the neurons in the ventral tegmental area of our brain become excited. This excitation generates an electrical signal called an action potential, which travels to a neuron's presynaptic terminal in the area of our brain called the nucleus accumbens. The action potential leads to the opening of calcium channels. Calcium ions diffuse into the neuron, causing vesicles to fuse to the neuron's membrane and to release dopamine molecules, which diffuse into the synapse. Dopamine molecules bind to receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, causing sodium channels to open. Sodium ion diffusion causes the neuron to become more positive, but not enough to generate an action potential. Dopamine molecules left in the synapse are degraded by enzymes, reabsorbed by dopamine transporters, or diffuse away. This is what happens in a non-addicted smartphone user. In an addicted smartphone user, the neurons become excited, generating an action potential that travels to the nucleus accumbens in the same way. However, a study suggests that addicted users have fewer dopamine transporters. As a result, dopamine stays in the synapse longer and continues binding to receptors. Increased binding opens more sodium channels for a longer time, increasing sodium diffusion into the postsynaptic neuron, which becomes positive enough to generate an action potential. Dopamine is the basis of our smartphone addiction because it stimulates our seeking behavior. In this case, we seek likes, followers, and messages because they provide a rewarding feeling of validation and belonging. These rewarding interactions serve as positive reinforcement, strengthening our desire to seek out even more from our smartphones. In other words, our addiction is a vicious cycle, and it seems we'll never get enough of our precious phones.